Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about inflation to depression, the 38 special. Obviously, I said the 38 special because obviously 38 is the number that we're on for these, and it happens to be a caliber of firearm. And it also happens to be something we're going to talk about today when it comes to financial investments, honestly. Um, there's a couple stories I want to talk about here, obviously. Uh, Before we get started, though, I did go out today. I had to go to a doctor's appointment. Ended up finding out that I have some serious issues going on right now that are basically medically uh, done. And I got to go get some medication and stuff for the next basically 2 months of my life beyond that. And then go see a doctor here in the next couple months is what it is. Again, so it's not good, man. It's not good. He said it's basically one of these things where it's like, it's not going to be like a huge issue or whatever. It's just, I'd rather be ahead of it now than have it be something real bad later on down the line and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, it's good looking out for me then, dude. So, and it's kind of funny because then he's like, oh, yeah, you're one of my healthiest patients right now. And I'm like, yeah, it's not really saying much, dude. So, it's not actually, considering I'm a big man. So, uh, but yeah, so I went to the grocery store a little bit after that. Then pick up a few things, and I'll tell you what, dude. Like, you really are seeing the inflation hit like crazy. And it's been a while since I've been to the grocery store. Actually, usually it's mom doing the shopping while I'm sleeping most of the time, and then I'll look at the bills every once in a while. But yeah, like I noticed today when we were at the store and stuff like that, just checking prices of different things, and it's like it's just crazy how much stuff's gone up, dude, in the past like year and a half. Uh, they're because we're at Aldi's and stuff like that, and their bags of chips used to be, I think it was like 99 cents or $1.20 at one point, and now they're up to $2 at least per bag. And then the they used to do those like little cheese and cracker things or whatever. They had the sticks in them and stuff, and then they have like cheese and breadstick version or whatever. They only sell the cheese and breadstick ones, and I know those were like 99 cents before. They're up to $1.65 now, and just like yeah, just everything's gone up like at least I would say 50 cents or more for the most part in the past year and a half. And then, God forbid, you want to get one of the packets of frozen chicken breasts and stuff there, which are like they're basically the Chick-fil-A chicken breast, is what it is. 5.50 is what they used to be back in early 2020. They're now $8 a pack, and there's only 5 or 6 of them in there usually. And it's like, that's insane, dude. That is insanely overpriced. Like, it just blows me away, honestly, dude, that these fucking criminal ass politicians ought to get away with this shit, honestly, without being charged criminally for this crap, dude. Because it's like, you can look back, and even the fucking dumb bitch that's supposed to be the press secretary right now admitted in the last, like, 30 days, she's like, oh, yeah, it's all due to fucking Biden signing the Inflation Reduction Act thing, or no, sorry, not the Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan crap into place, dude. That's not the last set of stimulus checks is what it was. And it's like, so what you're really saying is this motherfucker should be held legally responsible for this shit, dude. Should be held criminally responsible for it, is what you're saying. Because his dumbass signed the fucking papers, is what it was, dude. And I would say not only that, but every asshole that voted yes on that crap should be fucking held financially responsible for it, dude. And held fucking both financially and criminally responsible is what it is, actually. Because it's a bunch of bullshit all the way around, dude. And it just fucking pisses me off beyond belief, though. But anyway, so going over to Breitbart here. Got 2 stories on their main page I wanted to talk about today, which is first one there. Spooky seasons poll: 71% of voters say economy bad, disaster up 49 points under Democrat rule, and the other one was Americans look for inflation-proof investments as financial situations deteriorate ahead of midterm elections. So to go for the financial investment thing, there's not a whole lot of things that you can basically buy into right now that aren't what you call it. I mean, honestly, from what I've heard now, there's actually quite a bit of things going on with gold and silver to where they should be like way, way higher than they are right now. And from what a lot of people have said, they're definitely being stipended and stifled by basically world governments at this point, dude, is what it is, to make sure that they don't go kind of hyperinflation is what it is. Because if they did start to inflate or whatever, you would definitely see the real truth of what it is, dude. Because like I think right now it's like about a fourth or a fifth of what it should be price wise for silver or gold for that matter. Because you're talking about like I know gold's like I think it was over $1,000 an ounce now or something like that, maybe 2,000 actually an ounce now or something. But yeah, it should be more like 10,000 an ounce honestly. And the same thing with silver. Silver should be like at least like $300-$400 an ounce right now, honestly, dude. And it's only like 50, 100, something like that. So anyway, it's definitely being suppressed for sure, and I think that's a good investment. But I think even more so to the point, honestly, would be like gold and silver are good for long term things and stuff like that. The problem is you can't eat gold and silver, and in the grid down kind of scenario, that's like the last thing you'd want. Like you'd want a little bit of obviously for like a barter trade system whenever like sort of like we reestablish like a mini grid basically is what it would be, and you'd have like a township or whatever it would be then to where you could trade in and stuff like that. But more or less, like the things to invest in now, I think would be honestly, with the exception of like food and water, which you can only store so much of anyway. It would be ammo. It would be ammo, and it would definitely be guns for sure. And I'm not saying you need to go out and buy a bunch of guns or whatever, but like yeah, having a couple ARs, maybe a few handguns or something like that sitting around for you and your family to basically have for in case things go bad or whatever. It's not a bad investment, dude. Especially now. I mean, ARs are cheap as fuck, dude. I know PSA has pretty good deals right now. I know Delta Team Tactical has had good deals right now. Like all the time is what it is now. I got my DTT build last year is what it was, and I think they're even cheaper now is what it is. And if I had a whole bunch of money just sitting around right now, dude, like I don't know, like 20-30,000 bucks, like I'd definitely buy like several more uppers from that site. Um, and then have a bunch of money left over to buy other stuff as it would be then. Because it would be like I'd probably buy like three or four from there, and then just do like three or four more builds as what it would be then of various things. Because obviously they got besides 5.56 and stuff like that, I'd probably do a 350 Legend upper and stuff like that, just because I'd like to go hunting one of these days with an AR, and that's the only way you can do it here in Ohio is straight old cartridges. That being said, ammo for 350 Legend anymore, dude, around here has gone up like fucking crazy, dude. And that's another thing inflation's hit pretty bad, dude, is like the components for ammunition as well. Because it used to be you could get like the base ammo for 350 Legend or whatever, a box of 20. I think it was like 10 or 11 bucks for the white box, and it was like 14 or 15 for the hunting rounds is what it was that Winchester made. Now that hunting round is like $36-$37 for a 20 pack. And I'm just like, God, how could the fuck can you even justify those kind of prices, dude? So, yeah, it depends. And I think, unfortunately, with some of those, like, it's because of the cycles. I know for a fact with certain ammunitions, like 270 and stuff like that, it's like a 3-year cycle of every time they'll actually cast the dies and manufacture a bunch of it at one time, is what it is. And so that definitely correlates to that being an issue, is what it is, because it's going to be, X amount of years before that shit happens or whatever. And I'm not sure when the last 3-year cycle was for them doing those kind of ammos, if it was 2018, if it was 2017, if it was 2020, exactly when it was supposed to be done. But, if nothing else, like it might be like even like a longer cycle than that. Because there's even other calibers that are longer than that. It's like 5-7 years depending here. So, although that being said, I think 350 Legend is cast more regularly, is what it is. But I don't know exactly what the actual cycle for it would be. If it would be every year, if it'd be every couple of years or whatever. But like, yeah, it just seems like it's definitely overpriced right now, the places I'm seeing it at. But that being said, like other investments, obviously, if you just want to go like basic 5.56, like that's not a bad price for those ammos right now and stuff. Or the same thing with like AR builds and stuff, like I said, dude, or even like, going for some kind of handgun or something like that. I mean, there's definitely deals to be had right now. Like right now, honestly, if you were going to invest in firearms, dude, right now would be the time to do it because of the fact that there are a lot of deals going on right now. I know there's a lot of different companies for the year doing rebates and stuff like that, whether it be Taurus or Smith and Wesson or anybody else like that. Like it's supposed to be starting here in November. They're going to be doing a bunch of different deals and stuff like that, where it's like $25 to $50 rebates on a bunch of these companies, dude. So yeah, if you were looking into investments and stuff like that, I would definitely say wait a couple of days and then look at a local gun shop and maybe pick up some firearms or something like that. Because the thing with guns is, dude, like even look back at the Sandy Hook years and stuff like that. They're never going to go down in price. They're always going to be a good investment at some point, dude. And the thing is, even if you have to sit on it for a few years or whatever, dude, it's like it's not going to be just like a do nothing investment, because you're essentially investing in safety and security for yourself is what it is. Because if nothing else, like you can use that firearm is what it is then. Like it's not gonna be one of these things where it has to sit around and just like, collect dust or whatever the case be just to be sold off later on or something like that. It would be a situation where it's like, no, you're gonna buy that gun, you're gonna use that gun probably. If nothing else, that becomes part of your EDC is what it is, dude. So anyway. But yeah, going on to talk about the inflation proof investment thing here for this Breitbart article. Said seems that every day continues to bring more bad news about the future of the economy and state of America's financial health. With inflation remaining elevated and the Fed continuing to tighten monetary policy, Americans are caught between a rock and a hard place. Coming recession could end up making 2008 look like a breeze. It shouldn't be much of a surprise that more and more Americans are taking steps to shore up their financial health. Many are looking to buy gold in order to protect their hard-earned wealth. They know it's coming, and they don't like it. U.S. economy is driven by consumer spending, and that spending is beginning to falter. Retailers are sitting on massive levels of inventory as consumers are staying home and keeping their wallets closed. Household spending expectations are falling as more Americans expect to have to pinch pennies in order to make ends meet. This doesn't bode well either for households or for businesses, and the coming months could end up being trying ones. Said real estate is shrinking, the rent is too high, labor market could blow up. Biden versus the IMF, which would be International Monetary Fund, and there's like various things we're talking about and all these things, and then it says protect yourself against inflation. Said one time honored method of helping protect yourself against inflation is through investing in precious metals like gold and silver, which I mentioned earlier as well. And the big thing there is, like I said, dude, the thing, and that's all well and great to tell people, invest in gold and silver and stuff like that. But again, can you eat gold and silver? Like you'd be better off investing in like a crate of MREs or something like that right now, dude. Or a fucking not really MREs, but like there's other better food anyway out there, like Mountain House does better shit anyways, what it is, dude, and other companies as well. But yeah, you'd be better off investing in like, some My Patriot Supply or Mountain House or something like that is what it is, dude, for like one of their like, what is it, like a 6-month box or whatever it is, or bucket thing or whatever it ends up being. So yeah. Like those would be better investments, I think, honestly. If you don't have a bunch of food sitting around or whatever, just invest in like a few of those buckets or whatever if you can afford it. Or like I said, if you don't have any firearms and you're thinking about security and stuff like that, definitely would be the time now to invest in firearms and stuff like that and ammunition as well, dude. Because both things are just going to get higher and more expensive, dude, is what it is. And now is a buyer's market for a lot of that stuff, dude. Like I said, that's my whole thing right now. I'm trying to sell some stuff right now, honestly, and put some cash together to go get myself a new gun, if not multiple new guns, if I can get enough cash together, honestly. Because I'm definitely eyeing another handgun, and I'm looking at also possibly, if I can get enough money together, possibly adding a shotgun to the mix as well on that one. Because it would be nice to just have a 12 gauge in the house right now since I only got the 20 gauge. So, but the thing is, though, the one I was looking at, I'm not so sure I'd actually want that in the 12 gauge package, mostly because of the fact that if it is like, because I was looking at the stock of it and stuff more, and it almost looks like the stock on that being like a youth model is a lot shorter than the one that I even currently have that's supposed to be like a youth model. And I was like, man, that's going to be a bitch to shoot if that be the case. Unless there's like a way to like change out the stock on it somehow to something else, and I can actually have that as like an actual, adult is what it would be then. Because otherwise it's gonna be some real awkward like firing and stuff. But anyway, I mean, to be fair, it's like depending on your stature and stuff like that, depending on how large or small you are, or whatever. If you're like a smaller framed woman or a smaller framed man or something like that, like I could easily see it being good for those kind of people as adults and stuff. But yeah, for me as like a bigger dude that has like a lot more reach and stuff, I don't know. I think it'd probably be. I would have to go up there and actually look at it and have them hand me one so I could test it out and see how it feels in my like against my shoulder and shit like that, and see if it actually is worth purchasing or if I'd have to go with something else then. Because the big thing there is I know they've had a few different ones on sale off and on at the place I was looking at them, and I'd honestly much rather just have like the seven shot security model of the Mossberg 88 is what it is, Maverick 88 there. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man, but yeah, if nothing else, like it's one of those situations where it's like it's good to have stuff. It's good to have options, honestly, because you never know too when like one gun would possibly have internal issues or firing pin breaks or some other issue happens. I'm not gonna sit here and say you're gonna shoot the barrels out because most times you're not, unless you're like shooting consistently like thousands of rounds through a firearm all the time, dude. Is what it is. But yeah, I think it's be more likely like a spring would break or um, you know, like a firing pin or an ejector or something like that ends up having issues or something like that, dude. Or hell, could be like ammo related stuff with some of those 22s and shit like that. Now I've seen people blow out ejectors with that, with the Winchester White Box 22 is what it is now. That's why I tend not to use that shit anymore because I've heard a lot of those rounds are very inconsistent, and Olin is not good with their quality control on that ammunition at all, dude. So I'm very, very hesitant to use that ever again, honestly, at this point. And that's why I tend to stick with like federal stuff, mostly because I don't even know if Winchester is manufactured in the US or not anymore, dude. But it's like I know for a fact that federal is, and my big thing is it's like I know for a fact you have quality control here in their companies, and I'm like, yeah, I'd much rather go with like federal or CCI or something like that, dude, because I know it's gonna be more likely more consistent, and especially that rimfire packages and stuff like that versus stuff that isn't is what it is. So, but yeah, other than that, going to the other one here that we're talking about, the 71% of people saying economy is bad and stuff. Yeah, so 71% of voters say economy is bad at 49 points under Democrat rule. Said 71% of voters say the economy is either fairly or very bad. Up 49 points under Democrat rule, a Monday Chivas poll found. So while 45% said the economy is very bad and 26% said it is fairly bad, for a total of 71%, only 2% said it is very good. Just 22% say it was fairly good. Overall, 24% say the economy is good. That doesn't bode well, though, man, for anybody, is what it is. And I guarantee those people that are saying, like, oh, yeah, economy is so fucking great, or oh, it's actually decent, or whatever. It's like, you are probably the rich elitist assholes that are being asked this question, dude. It's probably like, okay, who did they poll for this? A bunch of assholes in Hollywood, dude, for that 20 something percent? Because that's what it feels like, honestly, dude. Or is it just some douchebag rich elitist influencer cocksucker is what it is? That doesn't give a fuck about anybody and doesn't actually know what the fuck. Hell, could be fucking politicians for all the fuck we know, dude. That wouldn't surprise me either, honestly, dude. So anyway, um, yeah, going back on here, it said that particular poll averaged 780,125 people tracked between January 2015 and October 30th, 2022. Said tracking model captures the shifts and attitude of various groups over time, according to all 50 states and Washington, D.C. So these changes can happen either rapidly or over time. So Monday's polling, just 8 days ahead of the midterm elections, shows voters' opinions of the economy have sunk under Democrat rule. The day Democrats assumed control of the White House, Congress, and the administrative state, 72% said the economy was very or fairly good, with 38% saying it was very good and 34% saying it was good. Said just 7% said the economy was very bad, 15% said it was fairly bad, Overall, 22% of the time said it was fair. The economy was bad. Under Democrat rule, average wages for American families are down over $6,000 after adjusting for inflation, an $1,800 increase in lost incomes from September. An October Heritage Foundation study revealed. Said inflation, the number one issue in every Senate swing state, is sure to impact the midterm elections, said Jonathan Wiseman. And Neil Vigdor of the New York Times urged the Democrat Party last week to, quote, switch tracks on inflation they exacerbated through massive spending. Yeah, it's pretty hard to do that when you're literally the fucking party that's like, hey, let's kick the fucking can down the road with a bunch of fucking explosives in it, and then wonder why it blows the fuck up in our faces when we pick it up the next fucking time to toss it down the road some more, dude. Like, that's what it was, dude. They literally they shoved so much fucking spending in it through omnibus bills, through fucking bullshit stimulus, through fucking dumbass fucking proxy wars with goddamn Ukraine and Russia, which is the biggest fucking problem right now, dude. And again, this is why every single one of these cocksuckers, from Biden to Pelosi to Waters to fucking Feinstein to Schumer, etc., and everybody else is voting yes on these bullshit packages, from McConnell's to fucking Lindsey Graham's, etc., dude, should all be charged fucking criminally at this point, dude, because you are literally fucking over not only my generation, you old pedophile fucks, you're fucking over my kids' generation, my grandkids' generation, and my great-grandkids' generation, and you all fucking assholes will be long dead after that shit, dude, before these kids were ever even born, honestly. Because most of you old fuckers are like in your late 60s, early 70s, or late fucking 80s even in some cases, dude. Or in the cases of pieces of shit like Chuck Grassley and fucking Dianne Feinstein, they're in their late 80s, early 90s at this point, dude. And again, like, when the fuck do we start having age limits and term limits, as well as health limits on every seat of power in this country, dude? Like, it seriously fucking pisses me off that none of that's a thing right now. And it should all be part of the 20th Amendment of the Constitution, dude. Along with automatic disqualifications from office and for running for office, dude. Because if you're running on a platform that is anti-gun, anti-life, fucking all kinds of bullshit against the Constitution, you're done. It's as simple as that, dude. You're done. You're out of the fucking race. So, anyway. Continuing back on this, the idiots at the New York Times said, Democratic candidates facing what increasingly looks like a reckoning in 2 weeks are struggling to find a closing message on the economy that acknowledges the deep uncertainty troubling the electorate while making the case that they, not the Republicans, hold the solutions. Said most economists do believe some Democrat bills, especially the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, exacerbated the problem. No shit, Sherlock. No fucking shit, you idiots. It's not only that, you morons. It's that. It's the fucking Inflation Reduction Act that didn't do fuck all except put more goddamn money into our fucking national debt, taking it to the highest fucking point that it's ever fucking been. Like, goddamn, dude. Like, I swear to fucking hell, dude. If there is not a new Ross Perot that steps up in the next couple of years for the 2024 election cycle, dude, there fucking needs to be right now, dude. And I don't care who it is at this point. An Elon Musk, a fucking some other billionaire out there that exists that we don't know about, dude, that's not a Jeff Bezos or a fucking Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, dude. Like, it needs to be a Ross Perot type that makes the main two fucking parties, Democrats and Republicans, tighten their goddamn belts for once, dude. Because that was the big thing back in the day, dude. 1992 election cycle, you had Ross Perot come up there as a third-party candidate, and because of him, you had both major parties fucking tighten their fucking belts for once, actually realize, hey, we don't need to do crazy fucking inflation spending shit like crazy in here is what it is, dude. Like, oh, you mean to tell us that we can't fucking just write blank checks to fucking every goddamn country across the fucking board right now? Exactly. And they actually tightened their fucking belts for one time in history, and we actually had a surplus of money at one point, dude, under the Clinton administration. And I believe it was either the end of Clinton's administration or early Bush administration when we got into fucking every goddamn bankster war in my fucking lifetime right now, since the 9/11 attacks and shit like that, that you basically had that surplus go bye-bye. So, And then we've been funding all these stupid ass wars overseas that we don't even call wars anymore, dude. No, it's just conflicts, dude. I actually found out last night, apparently, the war that my father fought in, the Korean War, wasn't even a fucking war. It was considered a conflict. It's bullshit, dude. It's absolute bullshit. It 100% was a war, just like Vietnam was a fucking war, just like fucking Desert Storm was a war, just like Desert Shield was a war, just like fucking Iraq was a war, Afghanistan was a war. All of them are wars, dude. Every single one of these things is a war and has been. And what do we have? Fucking 20 years in Afghanistan. Fucking worst pullout in American history. How many Americans are still over there? Dead? Or dying? Or being hunted down to this day? A lot, dude. How many fucking families were left over there that could have been good people that were promised because they were interpreters and stuff like that and were actually decent human beings for the most part? They were promised, hey, you know, you work for us, you'll get out here. Nope, left behind to be stoned to death by fucking Islam. It's like, dude, fucking hell, man. You know, Taliban taking over there. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, and then what's even worse about the whole thing, dude? You don't leave fucking equipment behind for these people to use, man. You don't leave a bunch of guns behind for them to fucking use that are actually functioning, dude. No, you take you throw that shit in the fucking middle of a goddamn room. You take a fucking big ass can of diesel, fucking toss that shit over it and light the motherfucker on fire. It's just like the same exact thing with the fucking vehicles over there, dude. It ain't that hard to take a fucking grenade and fucking chuck a fucking grenade into a fucking vehicle and blow the motherfucker up, dude. Or a Molotov cocktail or something else for that matter, dude. You know? Like, seriously, bro. It's really not that hard. But if you want to be a bunch of fucking dumbasses literally funding terrorism like the Biden administration has done in this entire fucking bullshit ass fucking term right now, of course you're going to do crap like that, dude. Of course you're going to leave behind millions of fucking dollars in firearms. Of course you're going to leave behind literally fucking pallets of cash. And again, we wonder why we're hyperinflated, dude. When you got fucking Islamic terrorists over there in the Middle East there, Taliban, etc., dude, who are making videos after the fucking Afghanistan pullout a little over a year ago where they're opening up these little packets and it's just full of crisp new $100 bills in the United States currency. It's like, what the fuck? And again, we wonder why we're in a fucking inflation. We wonder why we're heading towards hyperinflation and a second Great Depression that's going to be even worse than the original Great Depression was, dude. It's not that hard to figure out, man. This is what happens when you let fucking people do a bunch of shady shit and get into office, dude. Criminals who shouldn't even be allowed to run for fucking office to begin with because they're not even mentally capable. Because there's so much criminal shit on them that they should be in prison for the rest of their damn lives, let alone the fact that they've had fucking brain surgeries 30-something years ago to where they had half their fucking brain scooped out. And yes, I'm talking about asshole Joe Biden at this point, dude. Back in the 1990s, dude, this guy had fucking aneurysms in his head. He had to go under major surgery, and they had to scoop fucking chunks of his brain out of his fucking skull, dude, to save his life. It's why he'll say some weird shit, and then all of a sudden he'll go trailing off. Or he'll say something, and the fucking neurons are just firing to dead spots in what used to be his fucking brain there, dude. Because it's just black space now. This man should not be holding the presidency right now. He should not even been able to run for fucking presidency based on the fact that he is not mentally capable because he is a demented, old, child-molesting fucking piece of shit, dude. There's evidence he raped his own fucking daughter, for God's sakes. Like, how is this man not in prison right now? It's the elitist bullshit. It's the fucking double standard garbage of our fucking society, dude. And I'm so sick and tired of it. I am so fucking fed up with this shit, man. And I think everybody else is too, honestly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, 8 days, there's going to be a fucking reckoning, dude. When I was going through Canton today, actually, one thing I noticed, you can actually tell exactly when you get into downtown Canton, Ohio, dude, because it becomes a giant fucking ghetto. And what did you see all around the fucking ghetto? vote for Tim Ryan, vote for Amelia Sykes, vote for whatever that Jameson woman's name is for the Ohio Supreme Court because a Democrat. And yeah, it's a bunch of dumbasses that have fucking signs out in front of their yards. It's all Democrat crap, dude. And it's like, and you wonder why you're fucking poor as shit living in a fucking ghetto, people. Not that hard to figure out, man. Stop voting Democrat. Start voting something else. And maybe it'll fucking fix the problem. Stop voting for the worst pieces of shit like Thomas West into the Ohio State House, dude. That dude is one of the biggest fucking scumbags ever when it comes to anybody that has been in the Ohio State House, dude, in this area. Any Democrat that is currently up for re-election this year needs to be voted the fuck out of the Ohio State House, dude, and the Ohio State Senate for that matter, too, as well. Tina Maharoth, an anti-white racist who went on an anti-white racist rant back in 2020 after fucking BLM destroyed the State House, dude, and was bitching and moaning about, like, oh, all the lockdown protesters were white men with guns. Fuck off, cunt. Like, the fact that they didn't fucking throw your ass out of the General Assembly that fucking day is everything that's wrong with the state right now, dude. This bitch is 100% in league with fucking Antifa, dude. There is no way that she is not. There is very much evidence out there that she is, honestly, dude. And it's like, the fact that you were in league with terrorist organizations in this country and you're not being tossed out of office for that, dude, is bullshit. The fact that Keith Ellison is still the AG of Minnesota when he was literally in Congress holding up a fucking communist manifesto before he even ran for AG of the state of Minnesota, and then flip-flop fucking various seats because that's when Ilhan Omar took over that congressional seat there in Minnesota. That's the one that Ellison used to be holding. It's a bunch of crap entirely, dude. And don't even get me started on that fucking cunt, by the way. Like, how the fuck do foreign nationals have the ability to run for office in this country, dude? You're not an American. You never were an American. You hate America. You've admitted as much many times over. You're an anti-Semitic fucking piece of shit. Fucking terrorist bitch. But yet you're allowed to hold office in this country. What the fuck is that, dude? Again, this is why we need a 20th Amendment on mass qualifications not receive power in this country, dude. Omar should have been DQ'd. Rashad Tlaib should have been DQ'd. Fucking Cortez should have been DQ'd. Fucking Presley, Corey Bush, all these fucking dumb cunts from the fucking squad, dude, should have been fucking immediately on the spot been like, nope, you're fucking done. Get the fuck out. You can't run for office. Suck a dick, bitch. And it should have been as simple as that, dude. And it should be the same exact thing with all the rest of these fuckers, like the Pelosi types, the Water type, the Maxine Waters types, the fucking Feinstein types, the McConnell types, Lindsey Graham types. Every fucking establishment motherfucker that's been in office right now, dude, should be tossed the fuck out on the spot right now, dude. And I mean that seriously. At a federal level, not even see at state levels for that matter, too, dude. Any incumbent right now that's in office should honestly be tossed out of office. And we should start fresh with branding people. Because that's the only way to fix this shit right now, dude. Get rid of the old fucking scumbags who've been in there for fucking 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in some cases. And start fresh entirely. Everybody gets X amount of seats is what it is. And you max out at that amount of seats, dude, is what it is. Honestly, I would say truthfully, I've talked about this many times in the past, dude. When it comes to Congress, the way it should be is it should be every state gets 5. Every state gets 5 congressmen and 2 senators is what it is then. And so that way you would have the same amount of senators in office then, and you would have way less congressmen in office then, dude. And the way it would work is you would have basically every state for the 5 gets 1 for their capital. So, for instance, here, if it was here in Ohio, it'd be, Columbus would be one of the seats. It would be in that area. The other 4 would be shifted out to rural areas, dude. And you would have them based, and you might have like a second. Well, technically, if there was going to be 5, it'd be probably, you would do like 3 to rural areas across the state, and you do 1 more to pretty much any other major city is what it would be. So if there's multiple other major cities within the state or whatever the case be, like for instance, if it was California or whatever, like I forget what the actual state capital is there in California. If it's like San Francisco or San Bernardino, wherever it is, I think it's one of the Sands though. I don't think it's LA. I don't believe it is. I could be wrong about that though. I don't know. Whatever their actual capital is, like that would be one, and then it would be you'd have every other place fighting, like every other major city would have a person that could throw their hat into the race is what it is for a various primary, and it would be like that basically. It would be almost like a double primary. It'd be like, okay, you have like X amount of people running in, let's go ahead and say like an LA or San Francisco or something like that. Like there's like 5 people in the race or whatever to run for that particular thing or whatever. It would be that person that actually wins that original race, then shifts up to the secondary race, which would be for the person actually, like it would be everybody that would be. So if you got like 5 people from LA or you got 5 people from San Francisco or whatever it is, like whoever wins those particular races would then be fighting off against each other for the actual seat. Then is what it would be, and it would go that way is what it is. And you could, that's why you could basically have like multiple parties is what would be doing that stuff, dude. Because you could pretty much have like a Democrat doing it on one side, a Republican doing it on the other side, and then they would basically face off against each other along with everybody else. Then, so it'd be like 8-10 contenders or something like that for that seat. Then is what it would be, depending on how many major cities you would have in that state. Is what it is outside of the capital. And then that way you would actually have like a decent representation is what it would be, dude, because you'd have like the best candidate in the running is what it would be, hopefully then, and people would hopefully vote for the best candidate is what it would be then, versus like all the stupid shit we have right now, dude. And the thing with that is as well is for some of these other states only have maybe like 2 major cities. Like for instance, I look at like Pennsylvania as that thing. It'd be like you'd have Philadelphia and you'd have Pittsburgh, and you'd have one be their capital and then one be like the other major city kind of thing. And like that would just be like that particular race then would just be between whoever is going to be running for it, who would be then, versus like here in Ohio where you have you got Columbus being one, obviously, and then you would have Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, Toledo, Akron, and Canton. So you'd have like different people from all 6 of those places running for that second seat. Then is what it would be. And then you would have the 3 other seats in the state would be in the major rural areas, is what it would be, dude. So it'd be close, like one of them would be closer down towards the Ohio West Virginia border, and those like backwoodsy areas and stuff like that are like major conservative places and stuff like that. And then you'd have like 2 others in other various places across the state, dude, that would be in like rural areas and stuff as well. And I think that would be a good representation of the state of Ohio then, dude, because it would prove like, hey, there are more people out here that would actually be wanting to be like a rural voter, or have people representing us in the rural areas is what it would be, versus some stupid ass motherfucker representing major cities and stuff like that, dude. And that way you'd have more of representation of what America actually looks like when it comes to representation in Congress, and I believe also in the U.S. Senate as well on that one, dude. Like it shouldn't be you have X amount of people based on population density, and you have multiple seats and stuff like that in the same fucking areas or the same major cities or whatever it is, dude. And the same thing at the state level for state houses and stuff like that, dude. There's no reason to have 99 in the state house here in Ohio, and there's no reason to have like almost 200 or just over 200 there in Pennsylvania when you have 70 something counties, dude. It's like, no, you got one county, you got one rep, and it's as simple as that, dude. You shouldn't have fucking 20 people representing Philadelphia fucking ghetto, or fucking Pittsburgh's fucking ghetto, or whatever the case be. Which I think it's more than that even, probably, if you actually look, because I've never actually looked at it completely. So I'm guessing it's at least 20, honestly. It's probably more like 40 or 50, honestly, is a lot of those people come from, dude. Because it's like every certain amount of people, like it just automatically blows over into another fucking seat. Then is what it is, dude, which is absolute bullshit entirely, like I said. It's like, no, you have one person representing all these people, so they actually know who the fuck their constituent is, dude. Or sorry, who their representative is as their constituents then. And I think that's the problem right now with America, dude. I guarantee you right now, if you walked around any place in this country some shopping center, whatever the case be, and you just started asking random people like a 5 set of questions or whatever the case be, and it's like, the first one would be like, okay, do you vote? And then it's like, yes, no, or whatever. And if they continue on with that, then if it's like no, it's like, okay, then go on with your business or whatever. Then, or it would be maybe like, okay, why don't you vote or something like that would be maybe the next question to them. Versus if they're like yes, it's like, okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about voting, and then be like, who do you know who your state rep is? Do you know who your state senator is? Do you know who your congressman or senator is? Et cetera, dude. And see if they know that stuff, dude. Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that don't even know who the fuck represents them in this country, dude. Whether it be at a federal level or a state level. And it's like, how the hell are you going to know who to contact about what the issues really are if you don't even know who's representing you, dude? Especially if you're going to sit there and be a downline party ticket person, dude, where it's like, oh, straight red or straight blue or whatever the case be. It's like, that's just dumb. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever, dude. I've seen a lot more people that were independents, dude, in the races, or libertarians or Green Party people that I've actually voted for in past election cycles, dude, because they were the best candidate in that race. Now, granted, a lot of the cases they didn't win, because again, most people tend to go by that two-party system is what it is, unfortunately. But the entire point is, it's like, I think I'm one of, unfortunately, the minorities when it comes to actually doing the research and looking into who's the best fucking candidate for the race, dude. And finding out who these scumbags are. Maybe it's my autism, maybe it's something else for that matter. I don't know. It's probably weaponized autism is my guess, honestly, dude. But yeah, it's like, it just pisses me off because it's like, there's no reason for some of these people to be in office, dude. And it's because of stupid people going out there and like, oh, herp de derp de derp, let's go and fucking vote for the dumbest possible person in there. Oh, this person just happens to be the same exact race I am. Oh, let's vote them based on the racial fucking thing. It's just fucking retarded, dude. Like, seriously, if you're voting someone into office because you're black and they're black, like, that is fucking dumb, dude. That is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. It's just like the same thing with white people and stuff like that, dude. If you're going to vote them in because they're white, like, that's just retarded. Or Latino or whatever the case be, dude. Like, again, like, that's just stupid as fuck. Identity politics are one of the worst things that happen to this country, honestly, dude. And it honestly goes back to the whole rules for radicals thing. And it's really what has caused that shit, dude. The Saul Alinsky fucking book told the truth, man. And it's what the Democrat playbook has been for the last 40 to 50 years in this country, dude. And it seems like the rhinos are all honestly on the board with it, is what it is in a lot of cases, dude. And like I said, I'm just sick and tired of all of it, man. I really am. I'm just over it. I'm done with it. I think a lot of people are at this point, dude. And I think a lot of us, if we had our choice right now, would just say balkanize. If we could have a peaceful divorce with no bloodshed, we would definitely choose that. I choose that, honestly. I would love to see that happen. Just see a peaceful divorce in this country. Have us patriots go our own way. If the other dumb motherfuckers on the other side want to sit there and, do a bunch of stupid shit. And by other dumb motherfuckers, I mean the dumb motherfuckers who are following the real dumb motherfuckers, like your Biden types and the Democrats and over the fucking cliff, basically, at this point, dude. It's like, yeah, if you want to keep falling over the cliffs like a bunch of lemmings, dude, that's up to you. I choose not to do that, is what it is, man. I choose to push back against that kind of shit. Because I will not be let off a fucking cliff to my death by some old pedophile fucks who shouldn't even be in office right now, dude. Like, I'm not going to be wily coyote off a fucking cliff, dude, because some fucking ass clown did a bunch of shady ass fucking shit in a race he shouldn't even been part of, dude. And I'm not saying he was the only one either, dude. There's a bunch of evidence out there. There's other people that did the same exact shit, dude, in the last couple of years. And I believe it's exactly why Brazil yesterday ended up going against Bolsonaro, because, corruption breeds corruption is what it is, dude. And when you got the guy who's running against him, who was one of the most corrupt motherfuckers in that country, somehow winning the presidency, It's like, I demand a recount on that one, dude. I'll tell you what, if I was in Bolshin Eurospot at this point, dude, I'd be like, I'm not giving up power. Fuck y'all. Fuck all y'all, dude. That election was illegitimate. Fuck all y'all, man. We're doing recounts on that shit under military rule, and I declare martial law in this country. And it'd be as simple as that, honestly, dude. Because there's absolutely no way that corrupt motherfucker over there in Brazil, dude, won legitimately when that guy was supposed to be going to prison for like 2 decades for fucking corruption and other kinds of like bribery scandals and stuff like that, dude. And that's the thing, when you look at most of those, elections overseas and stuff like that, dude, whether it be that or whether it be fucking Venezuela or whether it be hell Russia recently, where you had the fucking the military over there going house by house, apartment by apartment to people, where you got one soldier guy holding an AK and literally using the fucking barrel of it to point at where the people are supposed to make their marks and stuff for the various referendum thing. And it's like, yeah, pretty sure that's not anything shady going on there, dude. That's totally fucking, everybody's on board with that shit. It's not like, oh, you're gonna be shot if you don't fucking mark X here or whatever, dude. Like, yeah, it's gunpoint tyranny, dude, is what it is, honestly. It's fucking bullshit, dude. And like I said, it's that same exact way in a lot of these fucking Central American and third world nations over there, dude. Whether it be, El Salvador, Honduras, or Venezuela, whatever the case be, dude. Nicaragua's another one of them, where you got these socialist and communist dictators taking over there. And it's like, you wonder how they take over. And it's like, it's not that hard, dude, when you make a bunch of sham ass elections and stuff like that. And then basically re-elect yourself like fucking Nicolas Maduro's done several times at this point, dude. And he clearly isn't even the fucking president of that country. He's just a dictator in charge of shit is what it is. And then you got Venezuela being so hyperinflated, even though they are one of the nations right now that's sitting on one of the biggest oil reserves in the world, dude. And it's like, how the hell are you going to be hyperinflated to the point where your dollar is worth like fractions and fractions and fractions of a cent, if even that much, when you have the ability to have natural resources that you could be pumping out of the ground and making a fuck ton of money for your nation, dude? And it's just like the same thing here in America, dude. There is a spot in Texas in the oil fields there where you could basically supply the entire world for like the next, like, I forget if it's next 20 years or next 200 years, actually. It's something like that. I think it's next 200 years, actually. And it's like, and yet America is not energy independent from other nations, dude. Like, what the fuck? It's so stupid, dude. And then you realize, like, all these shady ass deals are going on behind closed doors, dude, and you understand why. All the corruption, all the insider trading, all the fucking, backdoor deals with other presidents and other, world leaders and stuff like that, prime ministers and shit. It's like, yeah, dude. It's all just a big fucking sham scam thing, and you're not part of it, is what it is, dude. It's the rich making themselves richer while they're making the rest of us all poorer, dude. And then they wonder why people are pissed and ready to kick their asses, honestly, at this point, dude. And it's like, it's not that hard to figure out, man. And that's what I'm seeing across the world right now, dude. You're finally seeing people wake up and fight back against this tyranny, dude. I don't know what's going to happen to America right now. I pray every day that we come out of this alive, honestly, dude. And that we don't go to nuclear war or something like that, dude. But I think, honestly, the way things are going right now, I wouldn't be surprised in the next few weeks if we had World War III going on with nukes, dude. I hate to say that, but I think that's true, honestly, dude. And that's my thing. If I'm going to be only 37 years on this earth, I guess it's my time. I prefer to live longer than that, dude. But I would prefer not to live through a fucking nuclear winter and then come out on the other side where I'm, Book of Eli fucking blind or something like that when it's all said and done, man. I don't know, man. It's just a sad situation all the way around. And like I said, I'm just glad to see people finally waking up to it. And I'm hoping there's this pendulum swing finally, dude. And I'm also kind of hoping that, honestly, when the pendulum swings this last time, it just snaps and we just start fresh, dude, is what it is. You got the pendulum swing, pendulum snap, fucking wipe everybody out is what it is, dude. Across the board, there's a bunch of establishment assholes. And you get a new generation of constitutionalists in place then. You get people who actually care about the founding of this country, who actually care about our constitutional rights to keep and bear arms and everything else for that matter. Right to free speech, right to not be oppressed. You know, deal with tech censorship once and for all is what it is. And we move on from there is what it would be then. But anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I'll be back at some point. I think probably tomorrow with the I don't know. I'm debating right now. I'm pretty tired and I haven't been feeling the greatest all last couple days, honestly. Dude, I've been feeling like shit. And plus the way my laptop's been fucking up lately. I'm gonna try to do something tomorrow, but if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll be probably Wednesday then, for that constitutional carry thing for 2023 then. I also need to get some stuff done probably Friday. I'm thinking or it might be maybe Thursday even actually. Yeah, it'll either be Thursday or Friday. I don't know if it'll be the taking over for the 2A cast or not, but I'm gonna do a wargaming for every state race in Ohio then because I finally figured out where I can find the actual results and stuff for things for these primaries and shit. So I'm gonna do some breakdown stuff and I'm gonna be looking up a few things here and there in the next couple days and stuff. I'm basically doing a wargaming of how I think Ohio as a state right now could get to that magical 66 number for our state house. Where if we get that, we can pretty much have a 2/3 majority Republicans and be able to kick every scumbag Democrat out of office then, which would be awesome. I would love to see it happen. Do I think the Republican Party here actually has the balls to do so? I doubt it because they're all a bunch of pussies. And that's the problem, dude. You know, like I said, dude, it took fucking, what was it, 25 years to get constitutional carry here. And even then, it was because of the fact you had like basically like 15 or 20 good people is what it was getting shit done there. Versus like another 30 something that were just like, okay, let's vote party line, and another 10 that were like, I guess, but we gotta water it down a little bit though, right? We gotta make sure we water this down just enough to where it doesn't fuck us over in the long run. It's like, no, you could just put a clean bill through, assholes. Just like the same thing with stand your ground, dude. Like the fact that I was told that, oh, this could only get passed if we put in the thing where people could civilly lawsuit you for killing their family in self-defense, even though that family was a fucking criminal piece of shit trying to break into your home or your car or someplace else for that matter, trying to attack you and your fucking family. It's like, fuck that, dude. Such bullshit entirely. It's time to take a stand, man. It's time to take a grandstand, if you will, and get stuff done. If nothing else, it means run for office ourselves at this point, dude. And I think it needs to happen a lot more, honestly. It's time to just start primarying everybody out, whether it be in 2023, 2024, and beyond, or whether it mean, just getting ready for what's to come right now. Because, like I said, I believe truthfully, I don't even think we're going to make it to 2024 election cycle, dude. I think the midterms here will be the last election in this country before something kicks off, whether that be a balkanization, whether that be a revolt, a revolution, a civil war. I don't know. Maybe a mix of a bunch of them together. But I definitely think we're heading towards a time where you're going to see a lot of people just be over it, dude. And it might be some shit like about 100 years ago, honestly. And that's the big thing, man. That's why people need to start looking into history more, dude, and paying attention to history. Because it's every, 75, 80 years or so, we always have that fourth turning, dude. And it always goes back to the, weak men creating hard times. And then hard times creating strong men creating good times, and good times creating weak men, and so forth and so on with that vicious cycle. And I think right now, I'm not going to sit here and just say it was just weak men, dude. In the last 80 years, we've had a lot of weak ass women be put in positions of power that don't belong in it all, dude. Especially your Pelosi types and your Waters types and your fucking Feinstein types and all those people like that, dude. Fucking moron Cortez has no business being in Congress. How the fuck did that bitch even pass college is my question. Like, how many dicks does she have to suck to get a fucking college degree, dude? That's the real question we need to ask ourselves at this point, dude. Because there is no way that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is smart enough to actually be having any kind of degree in this country, whether it be economics based or whatever the case be, dude. And the fact that it was that particular degree, it's like, Man, you are the most bullshit artist ever, lady. For real. It's just a bunch of crap, dude, entirely. And this is what happens when you allow fucking outside funding into political races, dude. When you allow the Young Turks to fund this fucking dumb cunt into office back in 2018, man. Yeah, it's just a bunch of shit entirely, dude. And like I said, I'm just over it all, man. I'm over it all. I'm over all of them, honestly, at this point, dude. I really think we're in the end times at this point, man. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I've seen a lot of stuff recently that points to the fact that we're definitely going through one of the books of the Bible for the book of Revelations, dude. And I think we're definitely starting to see the signs right now. You know, God said after the great flood with Noah's Ark that it would never be water again, it would be by fire. And I think we're starting to see that, honestly, dude. If the all the buildings and stuff burning down in the 2020 riots wasn't an example of that, dude, I don't know what is, honestly. Like that is like just looking at some of the photos from that time period, dude. That is some biblical level shit right there, dude. And definitely a forecast for what's to come, I believe, in the future here. And I think it's going to get a lot worse before it ever gets better, dude. You know, I can kind of see that tunnel at the end of the light right now. Or, yeah, opposite of that. Sorry, my mind is blanking off because I'm very tired right now. But yeah, I can kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel right now. It's like a very, very dim little flicker, is what it is. And I don't know what we're gonna have to go through to get there, man. But I definitely think that we're gonna get to that light is what it is. Now, granted, for all the fuck we know, the light at the end of the tunnel might be an oncoming train smacking you in the face. So, and there is that possibility. There is that possibility. At the end of the tunnel is just death. But no, I tend to look more optimistic than that, dude, and think that it's just gonna be, get out of that tunnel and it's gonna be a nice grassy pasture on the other side or something like that, dude. Some fresh air and just good times is what it is. I don't know though. It all depends. I think we're about to see some crazy shit happen though, dude. I think we're definitely in for some tribulations is what it is, dude. And I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that. And I believe that there's a lot of people that want to sit here and fuck off and be like, oh no, we're not going through anything biblical or anything like that. It's like, dude, you don't even know, man. You don't even know because you've never followed it. And I think we're definitely heading towards that time period right now in history, dude, where you're gonna see some Sodom and Gomorrah style shit happen again. And whether that means that there's gonna be a bunch of literal angels coming from the heavens and smiting everybody, dude, or whatever the case be, I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing right now, dude, and I'm gonna make this statement. You guys know that I'm a big fan of the Supernatural TV series. There was a season in that show where it was a lot of angels in heaven falling to earth, and their grace went into willing humans' bodies to be used as vessels. If that is the case, and there actually is something similar in our reality, I'm going to make this statement right now. I am a warrior of God, and I will open myself up to a higher power. And if that means an angel assumes my body to use it as a vessel to fight in this holy war that's upcoming right now, so be it. Because we are definitely in a battle of good and evil in this country, dude, and this world for that matter as well. It's not just America, it's around the world, dude. We are in a battle of good versus evil. I know what side I'm on at this point. Do you? And that's what people need to ask themselves that watch this today or anytime in the future. Which side of the battle are you going to be on? Are you going to be on the side of God, Jesus Christ, and the holiness that is America and that is the higher power in the heavens? Or are you going to be on the side of Lucifer and the demons and hell? Because I'll tell you right now, man, I think we're seeing a lot of Luciferian shit going on right now in our country, dude, and across this earth. And a lot of it is politicians that have made demon deals in the past. And I believe that they either already are active demons inhabiting their meat suits, or they are definitely on their 10-year paths right now to where they would be taken and then be resurrected as demonic entities, is what it is, dude. And like I said, if we are truly in a battle of good and evil, I am willing to open myself up to the light, to the angels, to be a warrior of God, to be a warrior of Jesus Christ. And if that be the case, and that's what it takes to smite evil from this earth, then that's what needs to happen. But other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all on the next one.